TYT Sports, everybody. Welcome to the show. Ben Mankiewicz, Drew Carter, and J.R. Jackson. The game of the week, Seahawks and Broncos. That's what everybody had circled on the calendar. A rematch of the Super Bowl in Week 3. That doesn't happen very often. A rematch of the Super Bowl doesn't happen very often, period. Get it this early in the season. A lot to take away from this game. Drew, what were your conclusions after seeing this game?
Honestly, I kind of unfortunately have to agree with Richard Sherman where he said it shouldn't have been that close. Like, I really felt like the Seattle defense was dominant the whole game. You know, kind of at the end it had some breakdowns, but I really felt like early in the game, I'm like, it's so rare to me or to see like Peyton Manning doing 3 and outs.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like 3 and out. You're like again and again and again.
Just also 3 and outs, and to show how big a difference the crowd makes, a bunch of 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10s where they just ran.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Peyton Manning, and you're afraid of 3rd and 9. I have not seen that often, but they were afraid, and they just be like, here, it's 3rd and 10. Here's Monte ball. Get 2 yards. We'll kick it.
I mean, seriously, the main thing too. I mean, experience it like. The NFC Championship game in 2005, we played Seattle, and the 12th man was so loud. I remember we were backed up at 20, like every time. I could not hear Jake Delhomme. I had to just read his lips. That's how loud this stadium is. I was like, people are like, is it really that loud? I'm like, yes, it's loud as hell. Because I was like, what is he saying? I'm like, break the huddle. I'm like, we don't even know what we're doing.
This is in huddle.
This is in huddle, and it's like 3rd and 9 or whatever, and he comes to the huddle like trying to read the play, and you're like, I can't hear anything.
No, okay. So where's your positioning in this huddle? I guess
I'm next. We're like next because usually the offensive linemen are right here. So then the DBs the running backs and the receivers are right next to them, and Jake comes in. So everybody kind of. So I'm not far away. I'm not the other side. I'm like 2 or 3 bodies, and you're just sitting there like.
And so what would you do? You'd be like, well, I got run a slant.
You hope you read his lips correctly. That's the thing. And so it was crazy. But yeah.
And that. It's not just that you can't hear it and then aren't sure of the play, but that kills confidence too. Like you're not, I'm going to get
that unsure and like the offensive line comes off late. Like everything messes up with that. People just think it's just loud noise. People don't know the snap count. People are just flustered. All of a sudden you get flustered and you're not going to play your best.
Shotgun is absolutely impossible.
Well, I mean silent, but yeah.
Like he's flushed with everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's one thing. I was struck by how often they gave up on the 3 and outs, and how often they didn't seem to even try. They were afraid of it. And Manning 3rd and 15. You're like, man, this is a guy who he can get this.
Exactly.
But they didn't even try. So, but that said, and I agree with Richard Sherman also in the extent that when that game's 17-5, before the turnover. Before the turnover, it seemed like it wasn't going to be a game, and then all of a sudden Seattle gives the ball up, and they got a touchdown out of it, and then all of a sudden it's a game. And then the Seahawks get a field goal to go up 20-12, and then really just one vintage Manning drive.
Which I was surprised too. Is the Broncos defense was actually a lot better than I thought they would. I mean, Ware was everywhere. Talib was everywhere. I mean, even though they lost, but I just felt like the second half with the Broncos defense, I was like, okay, they're actually stepping up.
Although it worked out for them, I was a little surprised at that last drive before Peyton got the ball back with those 59 seconds left. That it was that conservative.
49.
It was at 49.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, three-peat USC Carroll, he risks a little bit in times when you shouldn't. Huh?
Didn't you get one of those strips?
It was,
take one of them back, man.
I don't remember you winning
everyone who's won one should have. Yeah. Because they all cheat. Trust me, I've seen it firsthand. So the thing is, it's.
I haven't seen it firsthand at all.
I
swear at everything.
So at the end of that drive, they were in the red zone. I was like, well, they can do their running plays, and it got to the point where Lynch just kind of jumped on the ground. Like, let's not run any plays, let's just run some clock. You still have Peyton Manning, and now it just turns into, I get it, you have a great defense, you trust your defense, cool. But if you trust your defense, run some plays, man. I'm not saying
Seattle got too conservative when they could have gone up by more than 8.
And it eventually worked out for them, yes, but you gave up that.
I think 49 seconds, you don't think no timeouts that Peyton can lead you a touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
Start thinking
what I loved about that game is that I had the Seahawks -4, so only a touchdown in overtime wins it. That was fantastic because it felt like that was the right bet since they were in control of that game throughout.
There was a little bit of complaints about how, although the rules have changed, because overtime was way too straightforward with the NFL, just so whoever gets the ball is generally going to win. I don't know if I dislike the fact that if you score a touchdown, it's over. People are saying, "Oh, I think that Peyton should have got another chance."
No.
I don't know. You gave up a touchdown, dude.
I tell you,
Touchdown
it's a
game
huge
over.
difference.
Yeah.
But Drew, you know this as a former player. The rules that existed before was crap because it changed the nature of the game. Teams are built, sometimes they're willing to allow a field goal in certain circumstances.
Right.
But the idea that you could give up a 6-yard run, an 11-yard pass, and a 15-yard penalty that maybe you didn't deserve and you lose, that's nuts. Teams they're not built to prevent a team from getting 35 yards. They're built to prevent teams from going 80 yards.
Right.
And so that was nonsense. So this way is better. That said, there is still an equity problem. It's still a coin flip. And it's the end of a game. The defenses are incredibly tired.
Right.
The Bronco defense in the fourth quarter came up big.
Yeah.
And then they gave up an 80-yard drive. And so it's still, to me, a little unfair, but it is dramatically less unfair.
I get it.
But I think if you're Denver, you actually can take something away from that game. After what happened in the Super Bowl, you realize, hey, give us this team again at a neutral field, and this is a winnable game. Although I did not like John Fox, we know, is conservative. And I mean, that conservatism, that fear of the Seahawk defense and the Seahawk noise and giving up on too many third downs was surprising to me. That said, in my power rankings, which I suspect will be shared by many people around the league, as good as Cincinnati looks, as good as Arizona looks, the Seattle Seahawks, the best team in the league. They are not going to lose at home, unlikely to lose at home this year. They lost one last year. And losing to San Diego, as we've now seen about the Chargers, losing in San Diego, that's a totally acceptable loss in the NFL. That team that's a 12 or 13 win team in Seattle.
And it was 103 degrees.
And it was 103 degrees,
That was during the heat wave. Now, let's keep real. They are in the NFC West, and they have to play the Rams twice.
They do have to play the Rams twice. By the way, Austin
Rams.
Davis to Austin Pettis, 2 straight weeks. Has an Austin ever thrown a touchdown pass to an Austin in 2 straight weeks in the NFL? I don't need to research it. No way.